Before we begin, pause. Seriously, pause. Let your shoulders drop. Unclench your jaw. If you can, grab a coffee, tea, or just something to hold. You don't need to answer anything yet. Just listen. If at any point this makes you question what's happening inside your own head, like the video. Leave a comment with the moment that hit you hardest. And share this with someone who says, I know exactly how my mind works. All right, here's the question. Why are you conscious? Not how you think, not how neurons fire, not how the brain processes information. I mean, why does any of that feel like something from the inside? Because here's the strange part. The universe did not need consciousness to function. Stars form without awareness. Atoms bond without feelings. Planets orbit without thoughts. And yet, here you are, having an experience. There is something it is like to be you. And that fact alone is one of the biggest unsolved problems in science. This is called the hard problem of consciousness. Not how does the brain work, but why does brain activity produce experience at all? Let's start with what we know. Your brain is made of neurons. Neurons send electrical signals. Those signals follow physical laws. You can measure them, manipulate them, predict them. And yet, none of that explains why red looks red, why pain hurts, why music feels emotional, why there is an inner movie playing at all. From the outside, the brain looks like meat running electricity. From the inside, it's a world. That gap is the problem. Now, let's make it worse. Imagine a robot, perfectly built. It walks, talks, laughs, cries, solves problems, writes poetry, falls in love. Every behavior identical to a human. But inside, nothing. No experience, no feelings, no awareness, just processing. This is called a philosophical zombie. And here's the uncomfortable part. From the outside, you could never tell the difference, which means behavior alone does not guarantee consciousness. So, how do you know anyone else is conscious? You assume it, because they're like you. But that's an inference, not proof. Now turn that inward. How do you know you are conscious? Because you experience it. And that's the only evidence you have. Consciousness is the one thing you know directly. Everything else, atoms, stars, even your own brain, is inferred, which flips the usual picture upside down. Consciousness is not a side effect of reality. Reality, as you know it, appears inside consciousness. Now let's talk about explanations. Some people say consciousness emerges from complexity. Enough neurons interacting and experience just happens. But emergence is not an explanation. It's a label. Saying consciousness emerges is like saying magic happens here. It tells you when, not why. Now others say consciousness is an illusion, that there is no inner experience, that you're just convinced there is. But that argument collapses instantly. And illusion is still an experience. If consciousness were an illusion, someone would have to be experiencing the illusion. So consciousness cannot be explained away. It's the thing doing the explaining. Now let's try a different angle. What if consciousness is fundamental, not produced by matter, but something like space, time, or mass, a basic ingredient of the universe? This idea is called panpsychism, the idea that all matter has some degree of experience. Not thoughts, not emotions, but something minimal, a primitive what it's like. Now, before you dismiss that, consider this. If consciousness suddenly appears when matter reaches a certain complexity, that's weird. Why would experience suddenly turn on, out of nothing? Panpsychism avoids that by saying it was always there, just extremely simple. Your brain doesn't create consciousness, it organizes it, like a radio tuning a signal. But here's the problem. If everything is conscious, why don't rocks feel like something? Why doesn't a chair have experiences? And the answer is unsettling. Maybe they do. Just unimaginably simple ones. No memory, no awareness, no self. Just raw presence. This doesn't make consciousness less special. It makes complex consciousness rare. Now, let's try yet another perspective. What if consciousness is information integration? The idea behind integrated information theory. According to this view, a system is conscious if it integrates information in a unified way. The more integrated, the richer the experience. Your brain scores high. A thermostat scores almost 0. This theory even tries to measure consciousness, which is bold. But it raises questions. Does a sufficiently complex computer become conscious? Could AI feel something? And if so, how would we know? Now pause, because this isn't abstract anymore. We are building systems that reason, learn, create, and communicate. At some point, the line between simulation and experience blurs. And if we get this wrong, we might create suffering without realizing it. Now, bring this back to everyday life. Pain matters because it's felt. Joy matters because it's felt. Meaning matters because it's felt. Consciousness is the currency of value. Without it, nothing matters. With it, everything potentially does. Which means understanding consciousness is not a luxury, it's central. Now here's the final thought. The universe has existed for billions of years, vast, cold, silent, and yet in at least one corner, it figured out how to look at itself, through you, through your thoughts, through this question. Why is there something it is like to be you? We don't know. And that ignorance is not a failure, it's an invitation. Because the mystery of consciousness is not out there. It's happening right now, as you hear these words, as you wonder, as you feel. And that fact alone is extraordinary. If this video made you more aware of being aware, like it. Leave a comment with what you think consciousness really is, and share this with someone who enjoys staring into the biggest mystery we carry around every day. Now pause. Notice it. This experience. That's the thing we're trying to explain.